Welcome to Trashing Trump with Mr. Johnny Stearns for Saturday, May 3rd. Thank you for watching. Please subscribe to the channel to keep up to date with all the latest news.
That was rude. That was pretty fucking rude.
You are not going to believe who attacked Donald Trump today, and it is a sign of just how badly things are going for Republicans. If you didn't guess it, it was Marjorie Taylor Greene, the most loyal of all MAGA nutjobs. She went on a massive long tirade today against Donald Trump and his administration about how Donald Trump is absolutely failing on everything. She closed it out with this: and you are losing Marjorie Taylor Greene, you are losing the base. And Trump isn't on the ballot in the future. So do the math on that. What's happening here is that Republicans like Marjorie Taylor Greene, even the most loyal MAGA people, care about one thing more than anything else: self-preservation. And they realize just how horribly Donald Trump is doing and how bad it is going to get for all of the people in Congress. There is no chance that any of these people will be able to hold their seats and still have power in government. They're saying it now. Donald Trump isn't going to always be here. And I know Donald Trump isn't going to want to hear that, because Donald Trump has this fantasy of illegally running for a third term. But they are starting to see it. This is what would be the eventual downfall of Donald Trump. If things get so bad that Republicans have to realize the only way to save themselves is to turn against him. And if we're starting to even see that thought enter the head of Marjorie Taylor Greene, imagine how many other Republicans are thinking the same exact thing. Things are going bad, and when those shelves start getting empty and people realize they can't find things in the stores, it's going to get a hell of a lot worse. Donald Trump, he may get taken down from his own party. And that's what it is. Throw me a follow. Kamala Harris should be the president of the United States right now. If this wasn't already extremely clear to you and you've been asleep not realizing that, she gave a speech this week that was amazing. I encourage everybody to go take the time to watch it. It was an amazing thing where she called out in blunt and harsh terms the reality of all the terrible things that Donald Trump is currently doing to this country, but also reminding us that all of us, each and every one of us, must all stay in the fight. My favorite part of her speech was where she told a story about a group of elephants at a zoo in California. When there was an earthquake, all of the elephants circled around the most vulnerable members to protect them. And then she related that to the fact of how we all must stay in this fight together and protect each other, protect the most vulnerable and the people who need the help the most. I only wish that things had been different, and right now she was the leader that we have, but instead we have to stay in this fight and get through to the other side. And that's what it is. Throw me a follow. Donald Trump said last week that Americans who voted for him knew what they signed up for. They knew that economic hardship was coming. And yet it's being reported that the Trump administration is already planning another bailout of the American farmers, because once again, he has failed them with this bullshit tariff war against China. They are going to be soon to go belly up, and we are going to have to bail them out again. Yet Pam Bondi and Donald Trump just a week or two ago said that we couldn't help people with their student loans because they knew what they signed up for. The same should be given with that attitude to the farmers who all line up to vote for Donald Trump, even though they know he could care less of them. They should have learned this lesson from the first time when he effed them over. And now who's going to have to pay those farmers to bail them out? The American people are going to have to pay to bail out these people who signed up for this horseshit. They knew what they signed up for. And that's what it is. Throw me a follow. These two men could not possibly be more different. Mr. Rogers will be remembered for his lifetime working to help children, promoting education, love, and unity through his years of programming on PBS. On the other hand, you have Donald Trump, who will go down in history not only as our worst president ever, but a 34-time felon, a fraud, an insurrectionist, and a straight-out criminal. This week, Donald Donald Trump used his presidential powers to try and cut off funding for PBS because, in his mind, PBS didn't do enough to promote a conservative MAGA agenda. They literally were not pushing propaganda, so it was something that he didn't want to pay for. This is who Donald Trump is, and this is what Donald Trump will be remembered as. In history, these are two people, Mr. Rogers and Donald Trump, that couldn't possibly be further apart. And that's what it is. Throw me a follow. Donald Trump is planning to pay out a multi-million-dollar reward to the family of the domestic terrorist Ashli Babbitt, who lost her life storming the Capitol on January 6th because she was so foolish and gullible that she fell for Donald Trump's big lie. Donald Trump should be held accountable for the fact that this woman died, because if this woman had not fallen for his deception, she would still be here with us today. She was clearly a mentally ill woman who was used and abused by Donald Trump. Of course, as I'm reminded every single day with the chaos that Donald Trump is bringing to this country, Donald Trump himself should be behind bars for January 6th for what he did to this nation and what he did for gullible suckers like Ashli Babbitt. Unfortunately for Ashli, she lost her life that day, so Donald Trump is not able to use a presidential pardon to bring her back. So what he's doing is paying off her family millions of dollars as a thanks for being one of his henchmen. And that's what it is. Throw me a follow. Imagine just waking up one day and your mom or your dad or your family members are just gone. They've vanished to never be seen again. This is the type of atrocity that is happening every single day in this country under the Trump administration to thousands upon thousands of people. This is that point where once in every generation there are atrocities being done, and right now we are living in it. These are human beings. These are families that are being torn apart. They are not receiving due process. They are being sent off to never be seen again by people who love them, regardless of how they got here. These are human beings. There will come a time in the future where your children or your grandchildren are going to ask you about these atrocities that were done by the Trump administration, and they'll want to know, did you do anything, or did you keep your mouth shut and let these things happen? And that's what it is. Throw me a follow.